Ibrahim Traoré is posing to be the next Thomas Sankara while actively taking steps to be the next Compaoré. What do I mean by this? I'm about to give you 10 reasons Ibrahim Traoré is more Compaoré than Sankara. Before we do that, my name is Erebi Tony. I'm a Ghanaian writer who lives in the US. On this channel, I talk about foreign policy and trade related issues. If that's something you are into, subscribe to this channel. Now, who is Thomas Sankara? Thomas Sankara is an African hero. He is a Pan-African legend. He is legendary in the politics of Burkina Faso and even more legendary in African anti-colonialist movement, right? People who consider themselves Sankarists are known to be anti-corruption, simple in power, anti-government privileges and excesses. They are known to be patriotic and have a sense of civic responsibility, right? And so when Ibrahim Traoré took over power in October 2022, he took steps to actively associate himself with Thomas Sankara. He appointed a prime minister who is known to be a hero in the Sankarist movement. Prime Minister de Tambèla was legendary in Burkina politics before he was appointed a prime minister, only to be terminated in December 2024 by Ibrahim Traoré because apparently he's more Sankarist than loyal to Ibrahim Traoré. Which give credit to the fact that Ibrahim Traoré gives a lot of lip service to Thomas Sankara, but he's actively not a Sankarist. Why am I saying this? I'll give you 10 reasons. Let me start with reason one. Reason one, I don't betray the project. I'm saving it. So Thomas Sankara used to be the prime minister of Burkina Faso, and then he had some disagreement with the then president of Burkina Faso, and then the president threw him in jail. And some friends of Thomas Sankara, led by Compaoré, had a coup d'etat to remove the president and install Thomas Sankara as the president of Burkina Faso. Then Compaoré, 3 to 4 years later, said, you know what, power is sweet, but I'm close to power, I'm not a person in power. So he assassinated Thomas Sankara and became the president of Burkina Faso. People like to say the French supported Compaoré to overthrow Sankara. There's no evidence of that because it will mean, you know what, let me not even go there. But even Thomas Sankara himself, right, I have some thoughts of Thomas Sankara. I believe Thomas Sankara gets a lot of the Tupac treatment. What do I mean by that? So there is this movie called Top 5 by Chris Rock. And in the movie, Chris Rock's character and Leslie Jones' character, another American comedian, were having a debate. And in the debate, Leslie Jones' character told Chris Rock's character that Tupac would have been one of our political heroes, would have been a political leader if he has stayed long enough. And Chris Rock said, well, maybe, but also Tupac may have become a light-skinned boyfriend in a Tyler Perry movie, pushing Jill Scott down the stairs. What that means is that we don't know who Tupac would have become, why he never lived long enough to become that person. The same way, we never know who Thomas Sankara would have become because he never lived long enough to become that person. So, we have the most positive emotions to Thomas Sankara because we believe that if he lived long enough, he would have become a great leader. We don't know for sure. And so anybody who wants to be associated with power in Burkina Faso like to paint themselves in the light of Thomas Sankara, that elect me or follow me to take you to the land Thomas Sankara wanted to take us to. So Ibrahim Traoré played that card and it worked for him, and then he became the leader of Burkina Faso by one thing that makes him Compaoré. He supported a coup, and the coup brought somebody else to power. And then, after being proximate to power, he said, you know what, these people are not doing what we set out to do. So I'm going to remove them and become the person to lead you to do what we set out to do. Did Compaoré become the person that led Burkina Faso to the promised land? No. Is Ibrahim Traoré becoming the person that will lead Burkina Faso to the promised land? We don't know. Number two, timeline elasticity. When the calendar is negotiable, power is renewable. So Thomas Sankara is known to change the rules in Burkina Faso at least 5 times to stay in power. He did that in 1991, 1997, 2000, 2005, and he did that again in 2014. That led to his overthrow from office because the people were eventually tired. After how many years? I believe he was in power for 27 years. Yeah. The same way, Ibrahim Traoré has started on the same path. First, he said he was going to be in power for 21 months. Then he increased it to 60 months. And now he has thrown or dissolved the electoral commission. The same playbook, the Compaoré playbook. Number 3, security first, ballots later. So Compaoré is known to have said that order before politics. In order to keep the same order in Burkina Faso, it's better to do away with the political rules. Ibrahim Traoré is in the same playbook, saying that foreign interference will happen in the election. So in order for me to stay in power, them the rules. Number 4, capture the referee. So in this instance, Compaoré was way better than Ibrahim Traoré. Why? Compaoré always installed people in power that were loyal to him. Ibrahim Traoré is not even doing that. He's doing away with the institution all over, entirely. So Compaoré was trying to capture the referee or capture the referee to stay in power. Ibrahim Traoré is doing away with the referee by doing away with the electoral commission. 5, parliament by selection, not election. Compaoré is known to be a hero of something he called control democracy. There will be democracy, but I get to control who is getting to play in the democratic process. Ibrahim Traoré is doing the same thing by overthrowing, people every single day, reshuffling the prime minister, removing them at will every single day, the same thing. Now, use the Sankarists to capture power. We are at 6 now. Then sideline him. Compaoré began under Sankara's revolutionary halo, then normalized power. So Traoré appointed de Tambèla, a Sankarist intellectual, to front for his moral credibility. And then once he had capture of power, he did away with the Sankarists. The same way Compaoré did away with Sankara. Institution shaving versus institution building. Number 7. Compaoré kept institution but though their teeth through the use of media pressure, legal tampering, even managing opposition. There were elections, but he got to manage who got to play the elections so that he stayed in power, Compaoré. The same way, Traoré have now suspended the constitution, centralized power in the Transitional Charter, and then now scrap the electoral commission. Similar. 8. Friend to foe power transfer. Traoré took out the leader he rose to power with. Traoré ousted his own transitional boss, Tambèla, after 8 months. And then he said because Tambèla, what's the guy's name? Tambèla is not doing what needs to be done in the interest of Burkina Faso. He had just 8 months to do what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to do that within 2 years. He didn't get to the 2 years. Now, Ibrahim Traoré has been in power for more than 2 years. Now, Narrative management, that's the 9th point. There's something I've noticed. There's a whole lot of hero worship and butt pumping in the rise of Ibrahim Traoré. He's been able to build himself into a cult hero by moving in a way that is appealing to the new generation, and he's very, very good at using social media. Compaoré was also very, very good. But Compaoré grew up at a different time than this, right? Compaoré was known to be a moderate when he was speaking. He was very, very charismatic. He had a statesman image. Compaoré was beloved, if you didn't know this. Compaoré was beloved for most of his presidency. And he had so much control in public. The way Ibrahim Traoré looks like he's in charge, that's how Compaoré was. But even more relaxed than Ibrahim Traoré is. The same person. Personalization of power. So the system in Burkina Faso was built around Compaoré when he was in power. Now the system is shaping up around Ibrahim Traoré. He is the king now. I just wanted to point this out because I know people don't care about policy. I care about policy. People don't care about institutions. I care about institutions. But I believe that I'm going to keep saying this over and over again because we need to get to an Africa where policies matters in politics, institution matters in nation building. We cannot circumvent policy and institutions to build a continent that is thriving. It will never happen. One man is not going to be the person to change Africa. We need an Africa where institutions are empowered to do their job. If you are going to have an Africa that we can believe in, that belief should be built on policies and institutions, not hero worshipping. I just wanted to point that out and especially hammer the fact that Compaoré was beloved. Just like Ibrahim Traoré is beloved. Being beloved means nothing in politics. Anybody who rises to the position of power in politics knows how to get people to fall in love with them. I've said this before and I'll say it again. And we all know this. Guys who know how to get girls get all the girls. There is a reason why only 10 to 20% of men get about 80% of women based on the data from Match.com on dating sites, right? It's because the men that know how to get women or have the facility to get the women have monopoly on the facilities, right? And so if somebody rises to a position of authority, it means that they know how to do it. And they're always going to be the people to do it. That is why it's important to have their power in check. Check and balances are very important. Ibrahim Traoré is doing away with the check and balances to consolidate his hold on power. And we need to be mindful of that. Thank you for watching.